Good morning, and welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. Today, we are again honored to have with us Dr. Pachegaonkar. Namaste. You know, Dr. Pachegaonkar is one of the world's experts on diabetes. And today he's going to talk to us on the subject of sleep. Please, sir.
Sleep is most important aspect of our lifestyle. Just imagine how many hours one must be sleeping in lifetime. So on an average like 8 hours if we calculate. So how much amount of time we devote in sleep is major portion of the life. And it is definitely essential to undergo requisite amount of sleep. The best time to sleep would be where it is midpoint at midnight. So midnight is the midpoint of the sleep of the person. That is the best hour for sleeping. So roughly if we calculate like 12 o'clock is the midnight. So, and if 7 to 8 hours sleep is required, so 8 to 8:30 would be the best time to go to bed. And then one can even afford to wake up by 3:30, 4 o'clock also. So that would be the best time. So in sleep what happens, it is mainly almost at every level, especially a physical level, everything is almost suspended. All the senses are under suspension. You just don't hear anything, you don't see anything, you don't feel the touch also during sleep. So it is like almost suspended animation for those many hours. And this gives wonderful respite to the whole system. The physical phenomena, almost we don't respond to external stimuli during sleep. And that gives wonderful hibernation or wonderful time period to rejuvenate your health. Not only that, even your circulation also becomes a bit slower, your respiration also becomes slower because it is not required much. Even the metabolism also slows down. So basal metabolic rate also goes down during sleep. Of course, much depends upon quality of sleep.
And what about disturbed sleep?
Yes, if there is a pattern called as rapid eye movement pattern, where the physic is okay under suspension, but the mind and vital is very active. And in that what happens, there is always, it is indicated by rapid eye movements during sleep. Means you can just see that some movement is there in the eyes. So the person is viewing something, maybe it's like a dream or something. In that case, the quality of sleep is not good. So this is even when the person is asleep. And then even after having 8 hours of sleep, one does not wake up fresh. So person always feels that he is tired after sleep. And this is because of this type of low quality sleep. And some people, they find it difficult to fall asleep. On an average, like few minutes to maximum 30 minutes, we consider it is a normal time period required to fall asleep. But if you are not able to fall asleep beyond that, then we consider it as insomnia, sleeplessness. This is common disorder. But then sometimes some people, they don't know how to react to this. And they become more desperate to sleep. If someone doesn't fall asleep for 30 minutes, one goes desperate to sleep, and that very desperation itself causes sleeplessness. So person goes into sort of a vicious circle.
And
So
of
that has
course,
to be broken.
many take sleeping tablets. Many
Yes,
people.
in sleeping tablets, what happens? There are like chemical reactions which temporarily suspend the animation. But the innately developed or spontaneous sleep has a different quality. So if you are sleeping with the sleeping pills, you are asleep for your relatives and for your physical sense. But definitely you will never be refreshed by that. And not only that, then the body becomes chemical dependent. So then it's like a habit forming. So then once you start taking sleeping pills, later on you don't get sleep without those pills. So best is that to cultivate sleep without any chemical supplements. Of course, there are some procedures or processes which we advocate to the patient. The first and foremost thing patient has to do is should not react to sleeplessness. If person is not falling asleep because of some elation, like suppose you get a bad news, so your mind is active reacting to it, and then you don't fall asleep. At the same time, if you get very happy news, then also your mind is elated active, and then you don't fall asleep. So in such cases, what we consider is if you just lie down in bed, the best process even mother has told. Mother has advocated this type of process before sleep. In routine, what we suggest is best is don't go to bed with full stomach. So eat your dinner around like 2 to 2.5 hours earlier than your bedtime. So by the time you are going to bed, your stomach is practically empty. So no turmoil is going on in the stomach, because digestion of food in stomach involves lot of muscular activity there. It's involuntary muscle. So involuntarily our stomach is churning and lot of activity is going on. So one part of your body has to churn the stomach. At the same time, remaining body goes in suspension. So that contrast also is not good. So keep minimum gap of 2 to 2.5 hours before you go to bed after dinner. Then once you go to bed, there you have to just try to recognize all the activity at physical level. At physical level, so you have to invoke tranquility at physical level. So your body is not agitated, not moving, it is all willingly suspended, all the activities at physical level. Then all the activities at vital level also will have to be stopped. We have to train ourselves so stop all the vital activities, and then even the mind. If the silence is attained at these three levels, physical, vital and mind, and then you just pray for the grace to protect you when you are in suspension, that is sleep, and then that quality of sleep is wonderful. So you don't get any adverse effects after sleep. Otherwise, mother has clearly said that sometimes if you are not in a proper quality of sleep, during sleep you come across so many bad forces, you come in contact with bad forces which again lower the quality of sleep, so you never feel fresh.
There's something called melatonin.
Yes, this is actually the normal physiological phenomena in our brain. When there is a right time and no stimulation, the brain secretes that there is secretion of melatonin in the brain,
Okay.
which calms down all the activities of mind. So but if you take melatonin doses, that doesn't help, because melatonin secretion also is facilitated in our system. It is a physiological phenomena. So, depending upon the stimulation around you as well as the requirement, suppose like some danger is around you, and you don't expect that melatonin is secreted, rather, there the steroids will be secreted as a reaction to the crisis. So, melatonin is secreted in our brain to inhibit the activities of mind, and naturally, when mind is silent, even body can become silent, and their quality of sleep is very good. So, melatonin plays an important role in sleep.
What about when one is awakened abruptly by loud noises?
Oh, yes.
For example, these temples with the drums and
Actually, that is what very definition of our sleep is, that it is suspended animation where you can be awakened easily with some sensory stimulation. So definitely sound will disturb your sleep if it is beyond certain limit. So that will definitely interrupt the sleep, and that will have adverse effect on your getting refreshed in the morning. So, no, best way is to get acclimatized to that sort of thing, or have some buffer time. So you go to bed earlier so that these interruptions also are made up. That is the only way out.
in your experience, have you found that the need for a number of hours varies with people?
Definitely, it would vary from person to person, and not only person to person, from the period to period. Like it would be depending upon, say, like what is the requirement of your sleep will be judged by your daytime activities, weather, and so many conditions.
Okay.
Plus, even the timings. For example, if you sleep daytime, suppose daytime sleep, even if it is 9 hours or 10 hours, will not refresh you as compared to 7 hours sleep. It is like midnight is the midpoint of the sleep. So depending upon quality, the requirement would vary. If the person is not keeping well, he is suppose ill with some disease, his requirement will be more than the normal person. Plus the age also. The children up to the age of say 5, they require 12 hours sleep minimum. 12 hours sleep is must. Even infants, they sleep 18 to 20 hours first 3 months. 18 to 20 hours of the day they are asleep. And whereas, but on adults or elderly, 7 hours sleep would be moderate. It should be adequate.
I had another question for you. I've got to recall it now because that was so interesting about children.
One interesting thing I just wanted to tell you
Please.
is we don't advocate daytime sleep.
That's what I was going to ask.
Ah.
What about people who take a quick nap in the afternoon just to rest?
See, quick nap is fine intermittently in day, even once or even twice. Whenever you have respite, you can go ahead with it. Only problem is we have seen in our clinic that people who are habituated for afternoon nap after lunch, they generally find out some excuse to be awake at night. They find out some urgent work because they are elated because of the afternoon nap, and therefore they tend to sleep little late, which is not healthy. So if you are able to fall asleep at will at the right time at night, daytime siesta is allowed. It has no adverse effect. You can sleep even for 1 hour. Only thing is, many times it keeps you elated towards evening. You don't feel like sleeping. You don't feel sleepy at all, and then you are late in going to bed. If that is not the case, it is very healthy habit.
Let's take an example of someone who gets up at 4:35 in the morning, works for almost 8 hours nonstop, mentally, even exercise. Well, the body wants some rest after that.
Yes. But see, there is an important thing that body should take rest intermittently.
Okay.
But rest doesn't mean the sleep alone.
True.
If you are working slowly, that is rest. If you have, like we say in reading, we have full stop, we have paragraph, or we have page break, then also you get rest. Not only that, like we read one line in the book and come to the next line on the same side again. That much also is a rest. So working, if you are enjoying the work, intermittently you can have rest. But the only problem with what you are telling is that this universal clock, the energy levels are different daytime and nighttime. So nighttime, the midnight is supposed to be the lowest, possible environment for your life.
For
So
awareness and action
yeah,
and
so
etc.
best way is to be in hibernation or animal suspension so that you are safe. You are not vulnerable at that time. So timely sleep would be much better. But if you are working like 4:30 to say 8 hours up to 2 o'clock, and then if you take rest, that should be fine. So long as you are able to again rest properly at 9:30 or 9 o'clock in the late evening or night.
Okay.
But then that would be ideal. Some people say that intermittently, if you are able to sleep, that is what infants do. Infants, they intermittently, they never sleep at stretch beyond like few hours. But still they are asleep for 20 hours.
One last question, one last point, and I'd like you to comment on it. Buckminster Fuller, the man who designed the geodesic domes, never slept. He would take 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 2 minutes.
Yes. Actually, this is also hypothetically possible for everyone. To after all, see, during sleep at stretch you are in suspension for 7 to 8 hours. Some people can cultivate that every moment. If there is a gap of 1 or 2 minutes, they are like almost asleep. Sleeping means what? Like they know like how to have physical, silence, suspended animation,
Yes,
how the vital is totally silent, how the mind is silent, and intermittently, if this is achieved, even in Sri Aurobindo's and mothers, they have said that they have worked for days together without even 1 hour sleep, and very efficiently they have been working.
of course, yes.
This can be cultivated hypothetically. Definitely, it can be cultivated. But not for a common person. It's not easy to cultivate that.
Right.
To have physic and vital and mind and silence.
Yes.
It's not that easy.
Yes. Well, this has been very, very interesting and very illuminating. Thank you so much, sir.